Welcome back. Today we're digging into SAP delivery calendars. We're using this functional guide you shared.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. The core issue really is making sure sales order delivery dates actually, match up with the schedules SAP expects.
Exactly. We want to avoid those situations where a customer asks for Tuesday delivery, but the warehouse only receives on Monday and Wednesday, right? So the mission is to figure out how SAP handles this.
And it seems pretty fundamental, but the setup, as the guide shows, needs to be quite specific to work properly.
Okay, let's jump into the sales order itself. The guide points us to the expedition tab that's shipping, basically within the item details.
Right. That's where the delivery date lives.
And apparently, SAP doesn't mess around if the date's wrong. You get this specific message, pas de réception marche, meaning, well, no goods receipt on that day. And it even suggests the next possible date.
That's SAP basically saying, nope, try again. It's that immediate feedback loop. The guide's clear. You just change the date right there and save the order.
It stops the problem right at the source then.
Exactly. Stops it before it becomes a real headache for logistics or, the warehouse team.
And the guide mentions you can drill down further, like select a specific schedule line, click Expedition again.
Yeah, you can see the dates at that really granular schedule line level. So it gives you pretty decent visibility into what's planned.
Okay, so that's how it works in the order. But how do these schedules get set up in the first place? The guide uses an example like a lundi, mercredi, Monday and Wednesday calendar.
Right, a simple 2-day delivery week.
And you build this deep in the configuration side, the IMG. It lists the path. SAP Customizing Implementation Guide, NetWeaver, General Settings.
Vantage Calendar, yeah. Transactions to Scale, that's the place.
Scale. Got it. Bit of a mouthful pathwise, but that's where you define these are our valid delivery days.
And the key thing is flexibility. You can create calendars for all sorts of scenarios, depending on, say, staffing or transport availability.
Makes sense. Okay, so you've built your Monday, Wednesday calendar in Scale. How does SAP know which customer gets that schedule?
That's the assignment step. The guide says you go into the customer master data. Transaction VD02, modify customer sales area data.
Right, VD02. And it's specifically in the points de chargement tab, unloading points.
Exactly, unloading points. That's the critical link. You assign the calendar, like our Monday, Wednesday one, to a specific unloading point for that customer.
So it's tied to where the truck actually backs up at the customer site.
Precisely. Because different docks or unloading areas might have different rules or receiving times, SAP lets you map that reality.
Okay, that clicks. So calendar created, assigned to the customer's unloading point. Then when someone creates a new sales order, VAO01, right?
Yep, VA01, create sales order.
That's when SAP puts it all together. It checks the requested delivery date against the calendar linked to that customer's unloading point.
And that's when you'd get that pas de réception warning message if, say, you tried to request a Thursday delivery for our Monday, Wednesday customer.
Got it. Now, one more thing the guide touches on briefly is MD04, the ETA Dynamic Day Stocks, or Dynamic Stock List. How does that fit in? It feels related.
It's definitely related. Think of it this way. The delivery calendar tells you when you can deliver. MD04, the stock availability, tells you if you actually have the stuff to deliver on that date or when you will have it.
Ah, okay. So the calendar sets the permissible days, but stock availability confirms if it's actually feasible from an inventory perspective.
You got it. They work hand in hand. You need both aligned for a realistic delivery promise.
Okay, so let's recap the main points for everyone listening. SAP uses these specific delivery calendars to make sure deliveries happen only on approved days.
Right. And the system tells you straight away if a requested date won't work according to that customer's calendar.
Setting it up involves, well, first creating the calendar itself, defining the days using transaction SCL.
And then linking that calendar to the specific customer, usually via their unloading points in the customer master data, VD02.
And the whole point is to make warehouse receiving smoother, logistics more predictable.
And ultimately, keep delivery promises you can actually meet. It's about reliability.
That aha moment for me was really seeing how that check happens right when you create the sales order, connecting that upfront step to the physical delivery rules.
Yeah, it builds that check in early.
So here's something for you to chew on. How does this kind of structured, rule-based scheduling impact not just the warehouse efficiency, but the entire customer experience and perception of reliability? And what other parts of business might benefit from this kind of really precise, defined planning? Welcome back. Today we're digging into SAP delivery calendars. We're using this functional guide you shared.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. The core issue, really, is making sure sales order delivery dates actually, match up with the schedules SAP expects.
Exactly. We want to avoid those situations where a customer asks for Tuesday delivery, but the warehouse only receives on Monday and Wednesday, right? So the mission is to figure out how SAP handles this.
And it seems pretty fundamental, but the setup, as the guide shows, needs to be quite specific to work properly.
Okay, let's jump into the sales order itself. The guide points us to the expedition tab that's shipping, basically within the item details.
Right. That's where the delivery